What's up, YouTube? I kept getting comments about doing the 5 tips videos for the Asvab, so that's what we're going to do today. Tip number 5. Don't be nervous. Take your time. The Asvab is a huge part of the military. It decides what job you're going to get, and that's big, but try not to think about that. Just focus on the test, stay calm and relaxed, because, freaking out and just rushing through it is not the best way to go about it. Tip number 4. Talk to your recruiter. Talk to your stepdad that was in the military. Talk to your brother. Anybody that's been in the military. Talk to them. Talk to them about the Asvab. Ask them, how hard did they find it? Did they find it easy? Did they find it difficult? What was their experience? Things like that, because that will go a long way, because it's just, when you talk to them about it, it's not just a piece of paper that's going to determine your job. It's something that, people that have been through that have, done good on it or done poorly on it, and you can kind of, go from there. Number 3. Number 3 is a pretty big one. It's pretty big. That's what she said. Use the practice Asvabs to your advantage. If you Google practice Asvab, or if you want to Bing it, practice Asvab, but you uses Bing. Fuck Bing. Anyway, Google that shit. Practice Asvab. A-S-V-A-B. Asvab. Google it and do all those little practice tests that you can find, because they're not the exact questions, obviously, but they're pretty close. It'll give you a really good estimate of how well you are going to do. And when you see your recruiter, they should, you start doing some paperwork, whatever, things get moving, and they make you do a practice Asvab at the test, and, they'll determine, how well you'll do on the real Asvab from that. But don't stop at that. Keep doing more and more and more, because practice makes perfect, right? So if you keep practicing, you will do well on the Asvab. Tip number 2. Don't skip over anything. And what I mean by that is, if you're not good at engineering or mechanical type things, focus on that a lot, but also focus on the math and the science and the whole English part of the Asvab. Don't skip over anything. Make sure you get a big round good study in that covers everything. Because when you skip things, you'll go through the Asvab and be like, oh shit, I don't know this math equation or whatever. I probably should have studied that. You don't want to be sitting there while you're taking it and thinking that. So study everything about the Asvab. Do not skip anything. Tip number 1. The biggest tip I could give you on the Asvab. That was really exciting right there. Way too much emphasis on tip number 1. Way too much emphasis. Tip number 1. I held up 10 fingers. Tip number 1. Study, 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 study. It's just like PT. Where it was like PT, PT. Study. You will probably know at least a week in advance before you head out to take the Asvab. So take that time to your advantage. Just focus, just study. Because it's a big part. It's a big part of your military career. If your friends are like, hey, do you want to go out to the club? You're like, sorry man, I gotta study. You can take a little bit of time, hang out with your friends, do that, but make sure you study just a lot. Just study. Study, 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 study. Study, study, study. Study for the Asvab. But that is really it. Do those 5 tips and you should do well on the Asvab. I cannot stress the importance of studying. It's just kind of like PT. You do more PT, you get better at PT. You do more studying, you get better at whatever you're studying. So study. Study a lot. don't be nervous. Talk to people, get their experiences. My personal experience with Asvab, I didn't study that much, but I did fairly well. I don't remember exactly what my score was, but I remember my recruiter said I could have any job that I wanted to. And I didn't study. I was, fresh out of high school, like probably a couple weeks out of high school when I took it. So, I mean, math and science and English and all that crap was fresh on my mind. So, yeah, if you're in high school, if you're a senior in high school, study a little bit and you should be fine, but yeah.
Those are my 5 tips for the Asvab. Those are my tips, the 5 tips for the Asvab.
And that is it for this video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Subscribe, like this video, and I will see you guys next time.